What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Memory Lane Unscripted. Part interview series, part video game nostalgia trip. Memory Lane Unscripted is an offshoot of the video essay series of a similar name, where I discuss some cool games with some even cooler people. New episodes appear once every last Sunday of the month on youtube.com/DocumentPain, this very channel, as well as Google Podcast, by searching Memory Lane Unscripted. Joining me today is none other than the Fall Guys, the potential Fall Guys champion, Gino and I. Did I say that right? Did I get it right? I got it right.
You got it right.
Sweet.
Esports faller right here.
Esports faller himself.
Yeah,
Man, that was a better one. Why didn't I go with that one?
No, man, I appreciate it.
What's up, Gino? How are you doing? How is this week treating you so far?
I'm good, man. Middle of the week, hump day.
This
Wednesday,
hump
right?
day. Hump day. Yeah, I mean, this will go up on Sunday, but like, you know,
Okay.
it's hump day somewhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Wednesday, yeah.
someone watching this potentially is
Right.
watching this on hump day. You know what I mean? Like,
Beginning
so,
of the week,
you know what?
Sunday. You know how it is, man.
It's how it is.
But I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on here. This is real cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being on here. Like, man, like
course,
it's cool. Once I put out, so Josh Biddick, who does the Up and Comers podcast, talked about, you know, like when he put out that tweet about guests, like he had such an outwelling of support to try to get people on, and like, man, when I put out my tweet, like people like came up with like, damn, I'm like, it's only a monthly show, so like at the same time, it's like it feels weird to say I'm booked through December, you know, like, but here we are.
Just love to collaborate, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's super fun. I think what you're doing, especially, is great. Like just the little skits just give me joy that I see on Twitter. You know, you like the antics that you and Matt get up to. Great. Tell people a little bit about yourself, Gino.
So I am part comedian, part Twitch streamer, part FedEx courier. That's my identity.
I like it. It's like a amalgamation like of a superhero, like by day.
So my motto is I deliver boxes in the morning and content at night. That's how it is.
Ooh, dude. Oh, that's another thing I could have just entered. That delivery man by day, but by night.
You didn't know I was a FedEx guy before this.
You know. I mean, like.
Not for the next one.
I feel like Death Stranding, you know, like brings that, you know, like it's like a Gino game. Like it just brings the two together.
I got the game because I thought this is gonna be my life. I'm gonna enjoy it. Didn't, dude. Didn't. I was like, I don't wanna leave work to go work again.
Yeah. So, as someone who's not a FedEx driver but does deliver things into college, yeah, I definitely was like, oh man, like we're just delivering packages, aren't we? We're trying to connect the world. I don't know. It's like it is. There on top of that though, there is that like Kojima goodness that is
so
just
so cool.
There's something about it like that I want to keep coming back to, but at the same time I'm just like, oh yeah, this is what this game is.
Yeah. So you didn't beat it?
I didn't beat it. No,
I didn't beat it either. I'll get back to it.
But I know. So Mario, who's my boss at DualShockers, got the collector's edition when it was like $60 a couple weeks ago, and so did Cam of DualShockers, and I'm just like, part of me is like sort of jealous. Like I'm just like, I wish I had the love that they had for the game. Like I really love Kojima games, but just something didn't click. It did. What's funny? So with Death Stranding, and we won't be on this topic for too long, but with Death Stranding, I very much had the point where I kind of like when I started it, I'm like, oh, I'm all about this game. Like the haters, we're getting out of here. Like this is amazing. I just want this nice chill game. And I can't remember I think it was Star Wars came out. Was that after? I think it was after.
Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, it came out after.
Yeah. So then I just lost myself in that, and then I tried to go back, and I've attempted to go back multiple times to it, and I'm just like, nope. I feel like I need to restart this whole thing, but I also don't want to.
switching over to Star Wars, which was a lot quicker, faster
Mm-hmm.
pace, and then just going back to Death Stranding, it felt too weird,
Yep.
too slow.
Especially like I think I got the platinum before for Star Wars before going back to Death Stranding, and I'm just like, man, I invested myself in that world
Yeah.
for a bit,
Yeah,
so it's hard to go back.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Of
but yeah, Gino, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the podcast.
course, of
What
course.
what game brings you eternal joy?
I'm gonna have to go with Assassin's Creed, my friend.
Hell yeah! Which do you have a particular one, or do you have like
Do I
just
have
if you were to
so
have
the
a
way,
particular one, I
the,
guess
yeah,
you don't have to
the way,
hone in for the story part of it, but if
uh-huh.
you have a particular one that you're like, this, I'm partial to this.
Okay, so the way I think of Assassin's Creed is I think of it in sagas, not
Okay,
just by
I
numbers.
like it.
And my favorite is obvious. So Cassandra as a character, I would probably say I like the most.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite saga is Ezio's
Oh yeah,
saga,
of course.
definitely. I feel like we were with him the longest.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him grow from a child, little baby assassin, to a veteran,
Little baby
bearded,
assassin.
bearded. One of the best trailers ever for
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed Revelations.
yeah.
You know
When
which one
he's
I'm talking
jumping
about?
off of the
Oh my god,
oh
one of the best
the
video game trailers ever.
and like going back to like the world of Assassin's Creed 1, like
Hmm.
where we're exploring Altair again,
Yeah.
because he didn't really get his due. Not that I thought he was like a great character, but I was just like it
Hmm.
was cool to call back, even though it was
That's
like such a short time in between. Like I think it was Revelations came out in 2011, and then Assassin's
uh,
Creed came out in 2007, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, I was like,
That's where it all started. You know.
yeah, it was just really cool to go back. Like you have Ezio, like this, the end of the Ezio trilogy is starts where the whole saga started, and I think
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
keep that in my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely agree. Like there's those games have such a soft spot. I remember like after Revelations came out, my friends and my friend and I like we like I so that year before Skyrim came out, and I was
Mhm.
like all about Skyrim, and the word around the town was that Assassin's Creed 3 was gonna be like Skyrim, structured like Skyrim, this
Mm.
open world thing, and we were watching videos like the same. That's not like even
Yeah.
the different videos, no, the same E3 videos like every weekend that I was at his house, and like we got it at I think that's honestly the last midnight release I went to.
Oh,
Um,
what? Is it mine? I think it was
yeah,
mine too.
yeah, right,
Assassin's Creed 3, the one with Connor, right?
yeah, yep.
I'm pretty sure it was the last midnight release I went to
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. And it was such a special game at the time because it was like, oh man, like these graphics, oof, we
Yeah.
can't get any
Oh yeah.
better. Here we go.
And you could climb on trees now. Oh my god.
Right? Well, and like the American Revolutionary War had such a like I was like, okay, this is something like I want to delve into. Let's
Yeah,
figure
this is
this
something I've
out.
learned about. Yeah, this is something. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
And
cool.
then I'm like, it's, like when at the time I was like, oh, this is fucking amazing. But like going back to it, I'm like, this is
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah. So let's go into your story though. Kind of
Uh,
jumping in.
so I could start. Let's start at the beginning with Assassin's Creed 1.
Mhm.
Um, so I remember. So you said I'm terrible with dates. It came
I
out
got you.
2007.
2007. Yes.
So I
Okay.
assume we got an E3 presentation in 2006
Yes,
for
I
it.
remember the trailer. I
I
remember the
remember seeing an
trailer
E3
with the
presentation.
crossbow, but the crossbow
Yeah.
wasn't actually in the game, I don't think, if I
Oh, I
remember
don't remember.
correctly.
So I remember seeing an E3 gameplay presentation for the first one, and
Hmm.
it was pretty early on in the 360 PS3
Hmm.
lifetime.
Oh yeah.
So I hadn't had one of those consoles yet. I had a PS2, and when I saw the E3 presentation for Assassin's Creed, I was like, "This is revolutionary. This is so different from everything I've ever played. I need to play this game." So so E3 was around June. I told my parents, I nagged them. I need this game. I need this game. I don't have a 360. I want a 360 or PlayStation 3, whichever one. But 360 was all the rage at that point.
Oh yeah.
So because PS3 was having those issues and all that stuff. So I wanted a 360. And as every parent loves to do, Black Friday comes around, and that's where they're gonna buy all their gifts. That's where they're gonna buy everything. So I remember my dad always used to love going. Now it doesn't happen anymore, but he used to love waiting in line at like Best Buy and stuff like that, just for that experience of Black Friday. And I loved it too. And in the middle of the night, we were driving around and we went to. Do you remember? I don't know if you do. You remember Comp USA? Do you know
I don't
Comp
know if we
USA?
had a Comp USA up
Do
here.
you did you have a Comp USA?
I don't
No.
think so. The
Okay.
closest thing I would say probably is a Circuit City, maybe.
Circuit City. So it was something like that. Yeah, it was like so Circuit City doesn't exist anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. Comp USA, we had that, and
I've definitely seen
we
that logo. Anyways.
Yeah. So we went to Comp USA, and I don't know what my dad was there for, because he was just looking around, and I was like, can we get the 360 or and maybe Assassin's Creed? And he was like, nah, I don't know. We were walking around. I feel like thinking about it now, I feel like he was there for that, but he didn't want to tell me, you know. So he ended up, let's fast forward. We're at the register. I was running around, and then I see him at the register, and he has a 360 with Assassin's Creed, and I'm like, freaking yes, dude! I'm playing that all night today. And we get home, and he tells me you gotta wait till Christmas to open this up.
Those dreaded
Oh
words.
my god, I was heartbroken, man. I was heartbroken, but I waited. I waited.
So with my story with the 360, I had a similar-ish story, but the fact is, at the time, I was just a dumb kid. I was a dumb kid. It was like, I think the 360 came out in 2005, so it would have been like 10 at that point. And like, I was just this dumb kid, and I shook the box Christmas Day, and I'm like, for sure, I'm getting Unicron. I'm getting that Unicron figure. I didn't even like Transformers that much as a kid, but I was like, for sure, we're getting that Unicron. And I opened it up, I'm like, oh, it's a 360. But yeah, the parent, you got to scheme the parents. Like when you're a kid, you got to be scheming. I remember multiple times in GameStop going and using the receipt policy where if you didn't like the game, if anything was wrong with the game, within like a week you could return it. And I was playing games left and right that way. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, Mom, we need to go back to GameStop at this date because it's going to expire and I'm gonna have to keep this game. I don't want this game.
That reminds me of actually one time when Blockbuster was still alive, and I actually went. Did you ever hear of a game called Dark Sector?
Oh yeah. Do you know? I found this out the other day. Warframe is technically in the Dark Sector universe.
I would not be surprised.
I
that
guess.
Sounds freaking awesome.
I mean that boomerang thing.
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
I think that's right.
That game was freaking incredible, and I don't know why they don't remaster it.
It was so cool.
It was so cool.
I don't think it's probably holds up as well. Like I feel like our memories are much better of that game than it actually is.
That's the thing about I'm not such a video game critic, because when Assassin's Creed 1 came out and all the reviews were out and stuff, people were like super repetitive. All this repetitive was what I kept hearing. So it wasn't getting all the buzz because of how repetitive it was. So, and me at the time, obviously less of a video game reviewer or whatever. I thought, this is not repetitive at all. This is freaking incredible. This is amazing. This open world goodness of, you assassinate people in different ways, whichever way you want.
It was revolutionary. Like at the time, I feel like you were bouncing around everywhere. It felt like that was like really honestly the first, like, that wasn't a 3D platformer. The first action adventure game that felt open world, and like I was doing things and I was affecting this world, and the traversal and all that stuff was different from it was a very different game for its time. And so I don't know if you know this, and you probably do, but the Assassin's Creed initially was going to be a Prince of Persia game. and which is why like it's all based in that
Yeah.
sort of area. But I remember playing Prince of Persia and be like, oh, this is really cool. Like Sands of Time, I was like, oh, sweet, let's go. And then my parents didn't let me do the subsequent ones, like the Warrior Within, where I think like the trailer had like I Stand Alone by Godsmack, and it was the most quote unquote edgy ass thing that there was.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I remember. So going back to Blockbuster, that's where I got it at Blockbuster. With the first Assassin's Creed, I think I might even still have the box somewhere, with the little like slide that they had to take out the checkout counter. I think I got it for like $7.99, and I was just like on a whim, and I had no idea what Assassin's Creed was at that point. Like I was just like, you know what, we're just like I watched XPlay, I watched stuff on G4, like, but for whatever reason, it just passed me by, and I'm just like, why aren't people talking about this awesome game? You know, like it was repetitive, but in that way that you can kind of get lost. You know, like I was a kid who loved Dynasty Warriors, like Samurai Warriors, like the mindless games. And I think that once I had to structure, I'm like, oh shit! Like even to this day, like playing platinuming Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then also wanting to do the DLC, it's like. That is like it's super repetitive, but it's so much fun. Like it's so much fun to tactically try to figure out, okay, who am I taking out here? Who am I taking out there? But yeah,
that's the beauty of it. But yeah, after the first one, then I just absolutely fell in love with Assassin's Creed, and I'm lucky that they ended up making one every year after that.
I know,
because I guess. So I guess the reviews weren't that good, but it sold well. I'm assuming, because it was different. So then Ezio's story began, and another thing, the soundtrack for all those games, Ezio's soundtrack or whatever, Ezio's theme, so cool, so ominous but calming and really really great.
All those soundtracks are so cool.
Yeah, they're so cool. Yeah, I would take it back to the freaking link the trailer for Assassin's Creed Revelations.
You know what?
This video.
You know what? Because I am.
The Woodkid trailer is amazing. Woodkid so Iron, I think. So yeah, it's so cool. But another story that I have with that trilogy specifically was, well, I think with Assassin's Creed 3, that's when, obviously spoilers, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we can spoil it. It's I mean it's what it's like an 8-year-old game at this point.
That's been 20 years at the moment.
It's like the Interstellar universe, which just like, man, this happened yesterday, but it didn't.
What was it? Assassin's Creed 3, I think, is when Desmond dies.
Yes.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
And that game came out in 2012.
Yes.
I think.
I think it was November of 2012.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Yeah, look it up.
I know it was definitely 2012, but.
So that's the reason I remember 2012 was because specifically, in my teenage boy mind, reading conspiracy theories and all that kind of stuff. Do you remember 2012? People thought the world was gonna end and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Remember that? So what was so interesting about Assassin's Creed 3 was that when we would go into Desmond's story, he would be speaking to, I think, the ancients or something.
I remember that.
Like a different race of people, and they basically were telling him with the Eden or something?
The Apple of Eden.
The Apple of Eden.
Yeah,
you have to do it into here, and then you'll save the world from ending or something.
Save
like
the cheerleaders, save the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like heroes told us years ago.
Yeah, that was the premise of it. So the interesting thing was that when you were in Desmond's timeline, it was 2012. So I thought in my head, my dumb little boy head, oh my God, am I saving the world for real? Because everyone's saying the world's going to end in 2012. I don't know what's going to happen.
Little did they know, 2020 is just around the corner.
is Assassin's Creed connected to the real world?
Yo.
So that's what my mind was running through, and that added an extra layer of just, mind blowing, this
Immersion.
awesome story. Yeah, this immersion into the story that I have not let go since then.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely had that panic attack initially. Like I remember, I briefly remember Y2K. Like I was just
Yeah,
like on the cusp enough to understand
yeah,
what was going on, quote unquote,
mhm,
going on. But yeah, like, and then 2012 came around. I'm like, oh shit, the world's gonna end. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't have a future now. Oh my god! And now I'm
yeah.
like in
Like
2020. I'm just like, you know what? This asteroid, come over here. Like
just
we
end
got
it,
this. We got this.
end it already.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I also October 30th, 2012
Okay.
was
So
was
yeah.
the release
So
date.
I was like, this. I have to beat this game before December 31st, 2012, so I
Yeah.
can save the world. Because if not, we're all gonna die.
Yep.
So that's how I felt,
Do you think
and I
about
beat it.
that sometimes? Like I'm just like sometimes I'm like, man, like I might like not wake up tomorrow and I still haven't finished Persona 5 Royal. You know what I mean?
If we're
Like,
if we're getting dark, I think we're at the beginning of the end, my friend.
yeah, I mean, it's been a fun
If you
ride.
if you want if you want to be real,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But
but yeah, I agree with you there. Where I just had that like immersion in the
mm,
like I'm one of those people that actually kind of liked the Desmond story outside of Assassin's Creed. I'm glad that the
yeah,
future ones like now they don't have it
mhm.
really. I mean, do they? I don't think. Well, I
the
guess they
the
do have Origins
the
and
current ones have
Odyssey.
the I forget what the girl's name is, but she was connected to Cassandra or something like that.
Yeah, she's like
Yeah.
connected to Cassandra and also Bayek.
Oh yeah.
Somehow, like that trilogy is gonna be really weird, especially if
Uh,
they're gonna put her in the Valhalla. It's like I mean, like I
yeah, I don't.
guess
So
like
that's the thing. That's why I go into sagas because after Assassin's Creed 3, I was Black Flag,
yes,
which was incredible.
yeah.
That one was
I would
awesome.
say that's like the Kenway saga: 3, Black
Yeah,
Flag, and Rogue. I would
Rogue.
say,
I
yeah.
hadn't played Rogue. But that one, what was it? Black Flag was the last one that I 100%ed
Oh, it's so good.
because after that came poor old Unity,
I
which
so hot take. I do enjoy Unity.
I
But I
wish I could.
don't think about it at all. I forget that it's a thing. I wish I thought more about Syndicate because I
Mhm.
I really love that time period. But
Yeah. So I think I fell victim to buying Unity as soon as it came out because it wasn't properly, I guess, patched.
like optimized.
Yeah, it
There
wasn't
was there was
optimized.
some bit of things that
Yeah.
were
I had
um
the no
not great.
face glitch and all that stuff, and I just couldn't deal with it. I was like, "This is very beautiful,
Hmm.
but I can't play this.
Hmm.
I can't play it. It's not unplayable." So I skipped Unity. Syndicate was very good as well, but I couldn't. Um, oh, this is what happened with Syndicate
Hmm.
because I loved it.
Hmm.
I got 30 hours in,
Oh no.
lost my save,
I was like, I know it's coming. I know it's
lost my
coming.
save, and I was like, "I'm not gonna do this again. I'm not gonna do this. I
I
love
had
you guys, but I'm not gonna do this again."
Luckily, I think the only one that I've had that happen. Well, I think Borderlands, the original Borderlands. I think I had that happen a couple of times. But
Mm,
like, man,
I have a
Dark
couple of times.
Darksiders 2. It
Oof.
happened 3 different times, and
I
I
mean
got it.
that,
I
bro.
got at least 10 hours in. I'm like, fuck it, I'm
Oh my
done. Still
gosh.
to this day, I just have post traumatic stress disorder. I have Darksiders 2 on my PC. I've got Darksiders 2
Oh man.
on my PS4, and it's just sitting there, and I'm just like,
Oof.
I loved you, and you betrayed me. So I
The
totally
worst
get that.
the worst save data loss I've had has been Monster Hunter. That I was
Mm.
Monster Hunter World.
Oh,
I had 120 hours in.
oh
Oh
no,
god, dude. And I was like, all right, I'm getting a new PlayStation. Let's
that
upgrade to the
hurts.
Pro, all this, and then I forgot to save my thing to the cloud, and
Yeah.
then that's it. Ended it all.
Oh, that hurts
And then I
so
put
much.
another 120 hours into it
Yeah, of
because
course.
I needed to catch up, man. But yeah, so Syndicate was great, and then after that, I don't remember. It was Origins, right?
Yeah, I think after that, because that was 2014 was
Yeah.
yes. So I think 2014, if I remember correctly, was
Mhm.
Unity, and then 2015 was Syndicate, and then
And they skipped a
Syndicate
year.
got a little bit like they're just like we're just like this is a good game, but we can't play this every year.
Yeah,
And I think that's when they took the year off, 2016 to 2017, and then
mhm.
2017 released Unity
Origins.
or Origins.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
See the problem? Yeah.
So Origins was this new saga now. I couldn't get into Origins, and I've
Mm-hmm.
tried going back to it, and I still couldn't get into it.
Same.
And the thing about Odyssey was when it first came out, I tried it, did 10 hours, and I was like, this is so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many things to do in this world. I'm overwhelmed. And I guess at that point I just wasn't ready for a game like that. So, but good old Greg Miller
Yep.
continued to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Continued year after year, kept saying it. And then more recently, I think around December,
Yep.
he he said that he went back into it. Oh, because
The
when
DLC.
they revealed Valhalla,
Yep.
he said he went back into it and he got sucked in. So I was like, you know what? Let me try it. Put like 60
Dude.
hours in.
I
Still
have
haven't beat it,
I have
but
like I've got the platinum. I think I got the platinum
yeah.
around 70 hours.
Mhm.
But I think I have like 100 hours in
Yeah.
Odyssey because
Mhm.
it's so good. Like it,
It really is so good.
I feel like the Assassin's Creed games, like they're much more than this, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
equate them to this. They're very much the same thing I felt when I was a kid playing Dynasty Warriors,
Mhm.
where like you can just lose yourself. Like honestly, like the story is good. Like I like the story. There's a few. I think honestly more in the DLC. I got more invested
Mhm.
in Odyssey's story. But yeah, there's the story of it was like, okay, this is good. I see what's going on. Like I get to talk
Yeah.
to Socrates and
Mhm.
all these different people from Greece. You know, that's really cool. But I was like, you know what? I'm in it for the gameplay. I want to clear out these camps. I want to just
Yeah.
do everything.
That's
Especially
the
when they brought back the ship combat, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was awesome.
That's the interesting thing about it that I'm not interested in the main story of it. Like there's so many other things that I think are so much cooler.
Oh yeah,
The Atlantis side quests, the what is it, the when you fight the different beasts, the creatures,
yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah.
All that stuff isn't part of the main story, but it's so cool being in that world that it just makes you keep coming back for it,
Well, it's such a
which I love.
well put together Greek world. Like
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
so big, and
Mhm,
but every single part of that world, like I think what I felt with the previous games, like and I think it's probably unfair to say this of Origins because had the same thing where I loved Odyssey, went back to Origins this year,
mhm.
and I'm just like I put 30 hours into this, and I don't vibe with it. Like I like Egypt, I
Yeah,
like ancient Egypt. It just like for whatever reason, it just Bayek didn't vibe with me as a character.
yeah.
I'm sure if Alexios was the only character in Odyssey, I'm not sure that I would I
I
would
I
continue.
I feel the same way. Yeah,
Like Cassandra is that game to me,
she
and
is.
I think that like her character I like more than the actual story, but just the way she carries
Mhm,
herself, the way that you can kind of like choose what you want to say, kind of
mhm.
delve deeper into the mystery of it, is really cool. I and so yeah, going back it was very much harder to go back because it's just like it's all sand, like like I
Yeah,
love Star Wars. It's like it's sand, it's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets
yeah,
everywhere. And it's an interesting world, but it's just not for me. But when I
yeah.
got to that Greek world, like every single spot is different. Like the like kind of spoilers again. for Odyssey, but like when not end stories, it's beginning story spoilers, but when you choose, I think it's like, so when you start out on the island and you choose to like either like go help the people of his village that there's a plague going on, if you don't choose to help them and you go back to the village, it's like desecrated because you didn't help them get through this plague. It is fantastic. Like those little bits like of the story world building, I just get lost in. Rather than the main story.
Yeah, Cassandra, when I first started, when I did my first 10 hours when it came out, I started as Cassandra, and I was hearing everybody say like she's so amazing, she's so cool. And I didn't see it in the beginning. For some reason I didn't understand. I was like, I'm just picking, this is me pretty much. So I don't see what you guys see in her. And then I went further into there's one specific scene that she's just so badass, where she fights like 10, 15 people all in one cutscene. It's a cutscene, and I'm not sure if you remember it. I can't remember exactly what it is, or where it happens, but that moment right there, I think it was 20 hours in, was where I realized, okay, yeah, this girl is cool. She's really cool, and she's badass. So I'm gonna stick with her, and I want to see where she goes. She's really cool.
And she goes. So, let me tell you,
it
is a fantastic journey, and just like kind of has like the characters along the way, like the friends we met along the way sort of vibe, where like Socrates as like a character is just like this guy that's super deep. You can tell, like, I mean, obviously in history, Socrates very much philosopher, you know, and it's trying to like expand your mind, but also like in this he's kind of just like
he's a cool guy.
He's just a cool guy, you know, like, and like these couple of misfits. Like I felt more that there was misfits in Odyssey, you know, where they're just like, you have everybody across the globe, whereas like Origins was just very much like, this is like a very serious story. Like, not that Odyssey wasn't, but like there was points where you're just like, okay, we can delve a little bit deeper into like the comical aspects of it. Like with Odyssey, with Origins, it was very much a thing of, all right, the people killed my father or whatnot. I don't even fucking remember the story.
Yeah, that's what I got from Bayek, that he was too serious.
Yeah, like
I didn't play that much, but
and that's what I love about Cassandra. She kind of harkens back to the fun of Ezio, you know, where there is the duality of, I can be serious when I want to, but also I care about these people. I care about what's going on around me and the cast around me, supporting me. I think that they've definitely iterated so well, which I hope they do in Valhalla as well.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing that you bring up too, because you could choose dialogue options for her, but she doesn't say exactly what you choose. She says it in her own way. She makes it herself. So that's why later on you realize it's her. You know, I might be choosing, but this is her talking, which really makes you fall in love with her even more. It's as if you're watching her. You're not just playing her, but you're watching her on this.
Yep.
Which I thought was really cool.
You're growing with her, you know, in the well, I mean, now it's for me 100 hours, you know, it's just like there's some moments in there where I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, but I don't think that there was a couple things that I cared about in between the story, but the overall story, I just like was like, all right, now, you know, this is all just a means to an end to try to figure out like Cassandra as a character and the people around her and support the people around her. Like, the side quests are really good. Honestly, hot take, I may think Odyssey is better than The Witcher 3. Like, I just love that. I love that combat. Like, a lot more.
The combat's better, definitely.
As much as I love The Witcher, because I do love The Witcher.
Which is incredible.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Silver Fox. But
Let's switch to that. Delete the rest.
Yeah.
Let's switch to The Witcher.
Yeah, right. But yes, the Witcher, I think it does storytelling very well, but I think like, I feel like the storytelling is very good, but everything else around it is like, all right, like it doesn't feel as refined what I want. I guess. I
Yeah.
don't think. I guess the phrasing that The Witcher Assassin's Creed Odyssey is better than The Witcher 3. I should probably
Yeah.
do the Witcher 3 or Assassin's Creed is Odyssey is the better of the two for me. Sort
For
of
you.
thing. But yeah,
I mean, they're pretty comparable to each other.
yeah, like I feel like it iterated on what came before. It was there, like you could definitely see it with Origins, where
Mhm.
they slip into that RPG format. They slip into
Yeah.
the little things, and they figure stuff out and feel out what they want to do with the franchise. Because at that point, like honestly, at Syndicate, I was just like, if I never get another Assassin's Creed, I'll be fine. And like Origins came out, I'm like, you know what? I like this.
Yeah.
I like where this is going, but it's not for me
Mhm.
right now. And then Odyssey
Yes.
happened, and I'm just like, I'm in. I'm back in, 100% all.
Yeah, that's the thing after Syndicate, when they said, "All right, we're gonna take a break, we're gonna reevaluate and all that stuff," I was happy about it, because there was a burnout starting already for that game, and I hope they don't do it again. I feel like they should take a break after Valhalla again,
hmm
and probably try something new. But yeah, they changed everything with Origins. They completely changed the way the game was. They shouldn't have even called it Assassin's Creed anymore
hmm
because it's so different.
Well, it's
But
like how people thought about Black Flag, where they're just like, this is just a pirate game. This is an Assassin's Creed.
oh
Like,
yeah,
you had those people, but man, like, all I fucking want is a pirate game, man. Like, just give me a
got Skull and
pirate game.
Bones.
I remember when I was a kid. Slight side story. When I was a
Oh,
kid, my mom told me my kindergarten teacher said, I think it was kindergarten or preschool. Anyways, semantics.
mhm.
Said that kid is gonna grow up to write some pirate stories. Because I was like 3
Interesting.
years old, Captain Hook.
That's
I was all
so
about that.
specific.
I know, right? It was like
So
pirate stories.
specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
That kid's
little did I
gonna
know, a few years later, I'd see Cowboy Bebop, and I'll be like, space pirates. That's the new
yeah,
thing.
that kid's
um,
gonna grow up and write some shanties.
right, exactly. That kid is gonna get scurvy down the road. um, but yeah, like I think a lot of people had the backlash of like, well, this is an Assassin's Creed. This isn't like what we started. I'm like, yeah, but it's different. Like
Mhm.
it's much different than what came before it. It's got that little bit of synergy with the originals, but it wants to tell a different tale. And especially
Yeah,
looking at this new saga, which I think you actually expertly put it as saga, because they are very much like the original trilogy, prequel trilogy,
yeah,
sequel trilogy, like Star Wars. They have like the base where they're just like, okay, this is what we're focusing on, but it's still got that little ties to Assassin's Creed. It kind of does the Final Fantasy thing where it's just like
yeah,
there's familiar things from the
exactly.
franchise before, or from the games before, but it's a different feel.
Mhm.
And I think they segment that out so well, and I think we're gonna round it out. Hopefully, we're gonna round it out with Valhalla, which looks to be going back a little bit more to the Assassin's Creed roots as well. Like it
Yeah,
seems like there's a lot more Assassin's Creed with that, especially like for as someone who's delved into the DLC. I think that they've already started, kind of explaining,
yeah,
okay, where in this world, in this saga, what what does Assassin's Creed mean, and how did this start? And obviously it's kind of like a reboot. The other thing I was going to ask you, so it sounds like you do appreciate it, but I was going to ask you, what did you think of the changes, the RPG? Because I know a lot of people who don't necessarily love the RPG changes that they did with it.
mhm. So when they brought that into Origins, when I first saw it in a presentation, I was like, "Oh, cool! There's different swords and armor and all that stuff." And I liked it. I thought it was a great, because when they said they were going to take a break and change it up and see what they could do with it, I wondered what could they do.
Mm,
What else can you do to change the game when you've done so much of the same already? So for them to add something, that it was a drastic change that I feel like if they didn't do it, then it wouldn't have sold, because people wouldn't have been interested in seeing more of the same after taking a year. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Why are you going to bring more of the same if you took a whole break and all this stuff? Bring us something completely new.
right.
And that's exactly what they did. So I personally liked it.
Yeah.
Although Origins didn't mesh well with me, that's because of the character, not because of the gameplay. Odyssey brought the character that I guess that I needed, and I loved. Dude, I spent so much money on cosmetics because I just want to look different. I want to look cool,
Yeah. I want to
and
like hot doggy dog.
yeah. So I think I bought every single piece of armor in the and with those Helix credits.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they got my money,
Yep.
you know.
Well, especially like when you spend your time in that world. I mean, you've already spent the
Yeah.
$60 or whatever you got it. I mean, some people got it on sale.
Hmm.
But you spent your time there, and you've already like you know that you love this game. You're like, all right, we're gonna give the developers a little bit more money. Like this is
Yeah.
something that I enjoy, and I want to support this.
Hmm.
Not unfortunately, given the recent stuff with Ubisoft, probably not the greatest thing. But at the same time, like it's like it's a whole machine. But yeah, like I think that supporting what you love is
Yeah.
definitely up there. But yeah, that I think that what do you want from Valhalla? I guess now that we're kind of
What do
going into the
uh-huh,
newsier side of things, I
uh-huh.
guess.
So what do I want from Valhalla? After I say what I want from Valhalla, I'll tell you what I want from the franchise. So
Oh, I like it.
so for Valhalla specifically, I I want to like the character, man.
I do.
That's what I need to. He or she. I'm not sure which one. The thing is, because I've seen the gameplay, I don't know who I'm gonna like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should go with him. If he'll be cool or if she'll be cooler than him or whatever. So that's one of the important things to me. I just need to vibe with the character.
Yep.
Other than that, they bring a lot more back of what Odyssey brought. I wanna I wanna fight I wanna fight Thor, dude.
Dude, yeah, right?
I want to fight Thor. I want to see Odin. I want to know Odin because you see in the trailer he says Odin is with us or something like that. I want to see them. I want to meet them. I want to meet the gods. I want to do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bring me that campiness. You know what I mean?
That's
That
another
that
thing that they added to the franchise that
mhm.
was so great was like with
Yeah.
Origins was just like at the beginning of the franchise it's like no, we're very historically accurate, which they are still, but
Yeah.
at the same time it's just like yeah, you're just gonna fight the Sphinx or some shit. Whoa,
Uh-huh.
there's a thing on my end. But yeah, it's just one of those things where that when they added that, it was just like, all right, we're gonna have some fun with this. We're gonna like
Hmm.
it's much more for the game than it is like we're taking it less serious, And then
Yeah.
I mean now like with Odyssey, you're playing against like the Cyclops and a lot of other mythical creatures. I
Yeah.
think that they can do that, especially with the more Norse mythology and the knowledge of that the already the main world does have. But
Yeah.
continue what you're saying. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, that's all that Norse mythology and all that kind of stuff. Definitely something I would love to and then another thing that I would love that I would be interested in is loot. I want, I want to be able to find, which they did in Odyssey, but I want like I want more armor sets that you got to collect, find in the world, stuff like that. You unlock them from quests and all that kind of stuff because I love loot.
Mm-hmm.
So you always want to get the next best thing. You want to get that gold armor or whatever, whatever. So that's definitely something that I'd like to see, which brings me to my next point that you actually made me think about as you were talking like 5 minutes ago
I like it.
because you likened it to Final Fantasy where they have different little pieces of the world in their games. Why don't they make an MMO,
Ooh. I
an
think.
Assassin's Creed MMO?
Ooh. See, I think maybe less MMO, maybe
uh,
because we are such the separate. Like there are such separate saga, but I think tackling
yeah,
multiplayer again. I
that's
like
the
that
thing because
idea.
I I thought of that too. Tackling they tried it with Unity, but it
Mm-hmm.
didn't work out. But trying to be in it would be so ambitious, but
Mm-hmm.
a world similar to how Final Fantasy has their own MMO
Mm-hmm.
with connect them to the different games and all that stuff. And if they could do that, pull something off like that with Assassin's Creed, where you keep the similar gameplay, but you have it in a world with millions of players. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah.
That could be really fun.
What would you pitch for the world to be? Sell me on this,
What would I
doggy
pitch for
dog.
the world to be? Interesting, interesting. That's another interesting point because so MMO maps are freaking huge,
Mm-hmm.
way bigger than Odyssey is huge on its own.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's one region in an MMO map.
Right.
So you could probably do an I would say an Earth style map
Okay.
with different regions, snowy regions, desert regions, jungle, all this stuff. And I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it on the spot
Yeah.
right now. Because as you said it, I thought, oh, Assassin's Creed MMO. That'd
Yeah.
be freaking incredible.
See, so
So,
here's my thing. At least
uh,
for Valhalla, not that it will happen. I mean, we did just see Ghost of Tsushima get their co-op stuff, which I didn't
oh yeah,
think was gonna happen.
that was a
Um,
huge surprise.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I already thought about it too. About when you were
Mhm.
talking about like having Thor and Odin. Let's have
Yeah.
raids, doggy dog. Let's have like
Mm,
building your team, because this I feel like this Viking stuff is going to build back to like the pirate aspects of things. Have
yeah.
your ship kind of like have your core team and go be able to go out there and customize each character to their liking and take out Odin, take out Thor, take out like I think like each game can have like a separate like
Mhm.
multiplayer mode, kind of like Watch
Yeah.
Dogs did, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that honestly for me, I don't think an MMO would work, but I'm also not an MMO guy. I just don't
Mhm.
think like because you have to have the different time periods.
Yeah.
Which I mean, MMOs are ridiculous, so we could we could go there. We could have Vikings over here while we have the
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
Altiers of the world.
But what you're saying would be cool. That would
Yeah,
be interesting to
like I'm
have
thinking
a
more like
multiplayer component.
I mean it's not a great word recently, but like the Destiny like games, like the
Mhm.
games as a service. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that more of what it could be,
Uh-huh.
but still focus on a time period,
Yeah.
on a set path, but still have that multiplayer aspect of things.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think that would be awesome. I think connecting the world through that, because everyone loves that. Everyone loves to play some form of Assassin's Creed in their lives. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, of course. It's
um,
it's such a widely used game genre.
yeah.
You
Oh
know what I mean?
yeah.
That's what you see all the time in video games now, pretty much. This
Yep.
open world, side quest, main quest type of thing, which
The
Assassin's Creed sort of started.
bringing it back to the quote unquote repetitive comment,
Yeah,
but repetitive in such a fun way. And
exactly.
with that, I think we're gonna round out this podcast, doggy dog. How was it for you? How did you like Memory Lane Unscripted?
I loved it, man. It was fun. That you,
Yeah,
you you brought out thoughts of me that I haven't thought in years,
I
in
love it.
20 something years.
That's our goal. That's our goal
Yeah.
with in 84 years. I remember the longest year of my life was just January 2020.
January 2020. That
Longest
was
year of
2
my
years ago.
life, let me tell you.
That was 2 years ago. Yep.
Yep. Gino, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you coming
Thanks for
on,
having me.
taking time out of your day. Where can people find you? And,
You can
and do you have
find
anything
me
to
at.
plug? I guess also I
Do
should
I have
say.
anything to plug?
Yeah, and
I
also
would like,
on top of
of course, I'd
yeah.
like to plug my Twitch. You can find me over at Twitch. What is it? Twitch.tv
Yep.
slash Gino, Gino underscore VI.
Mm-hmm.
So twitch.tv slash Gino V.
The other day I made the mistake of typing in twitch.tv/OG or twitch.tv/Gino_V, just the letter V, and I'm like, oh fuck.
I had a friend do that to me when I was playing with them. They just typed that as well.
Mhm.
So I was like, that's not it. There's an I. There's an I. But also you can find me at Twitter at Gino, GINO _V Terry, VITERI.
Alrighty. And then of course I want to plug the fantastic Matt Batson video, the Fall Guys video. It's so fucking funny, dude.
Go follow Matt on Twitter.
Go follow Matt. Too. Yeah. Go follow
Matt
as well.
Matt S. Batson. Incredible guy.
Great.
Awesome.
You guys do great
person
work.
to work with. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And also, like, keep an eye on his Twitter because he has some great every so often. It's just what I needed. It's just some great skit videos, like the Bug Snacks video that fucking got me. And his Twitch also very good. But yeah, I'm gonna put all that in the description below so you guys can go follow this wonderful, cool friend. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Appreciate all you. Of course, wait, I guess I should plug myself. You can find me, of course, at twitch.tv/ShotgunMcPain occasionally now because I work at Dual Shockers and I'm very busy over there. But yeah, you can find me over at twitch.tv/ShotgunMcPain. You can find me on Twitter at ShotgunMcPain. You can also find me on this channel, of course, uploading stuff. But probably by the time you were watching this, I might have uploaded a thing because of the year. Like, it's been a year. Tuesday, yesterday. Well, technically, as recording yesterday, was a year of YouTube for me. So I'm gonna put out a thing celebrating. Thank you, Gino. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Of course. All right, now we're gonna round it out. Now we're gonna round out the whole thing. Thank you, Gino, for being on the show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Take care.